What if I told you that you didn't find this video, it found you? And what if I told you that you were meant to watch this not by chance, but by design? There are millions of videos you could have clicked, yet somehow this one drew you in. Somehow your path brought you right here, right now. That's not a coincidence. That's a moment of alignment. This message was created for someone who's been asking for a shift, a sign, a push. If you've been feeling like something inside you has been stirring, quietly whispering that there's more to your life than what you've been living, you're not imagining things. This is real, and what you're about to hear might just change everything. You might not be able to see the change yet, but you've already started moving in a new direction. By simply being here, you've said yes to something greater. You've said yes to your inner voice, the one that doesn't shout but nudges, the one that doesn't rush but reveals. And that voice brought you here for a reason. It knew you were ready. Maybe not perfectly ready, maybe not with all the answers, but ready enough to listen, enough to consider, enough to start. Because the truth is, nobody ever feels fully prepared for the life they were meant to live. We don't step into greatness with guarantees, we step into it with belief, even if it's just a small flicker at first. And that flicker, that spark, it's been inside you all along. It's the reason you've kept going through days when everything felt heavy. It's the reason you've survived things that should have broken you. It's the reason you still dream, even after all the disappointment. That spark is your reminder that you haven't given up. Not truly. You're still holding on, still reaching for more. And that alone makes you powerful. But power is useless unless you remember how to use it. You see, most people go through life asleep. They move through their days reacting to everything around them, never realizing they have the ability to shift their entire reality. Not by luck, not by chance, but by intention. You don't need to wait for everything to align before you act. That's the lie. The real secret is this: you create alignment by acting. When you choose to believe in your ability to shift your circumstances, even when there's no visible proof, you start creating something new, something magnetic, something unstoppable. And the universe, it responds to that. It mirrors what you believe. That's why people who expect good things seem to always attract them. Not because they're lucky, but because they've trained their minds to look for opportunity instead of obstacles. They've conditioned their hearts to feel abundance instead of lack. And over time, their inner world reshapes the outer one. You can do the same. You already have everything within you. It's just waiting to be activated. Maybe you've tried before. Maybe you've started and stopped, built momentum and lost it. That's okay. That's part of the process. Growth is never linear. What matters most is that you keep choosing to rise, again and again. Because every time you try again, you become more powerful. You become more aware, more tuned in. And awareness, that's everything. Once you start noticing your thoughts, your patterns, your triggers, you gain control. You start responding instead of reacting. You start choosing instead of chasing. That's when life starts to feel less chaotic. That's when things begin to click. You may not realize it yet, but you're already shifting. Your energy is different. Your curiosity led you here. And now, your awareness is expanding. That's not small. That's massive. And even if no one else sees it, feels it, or applauds it, you should. Because doing the inner work, the invisible work, is often the hardest. But it's also the most important. It's what lays the foundation for everything else. It's funny how we're taught to seek validation from others. We wait for people to recognize our progress before we allow ourselves to feel proud. But what if you didn't need anyone else's permission to be proud of how far you've come? What if you already are enough, right now, exactly as you are? Not because you've checked all the boxes, but because you're showing up. Because you're trying. because you're aware that there's more meant for you. And you know that feeling, the one deep down that keeps tugging at your soul, the knowing that you're destined for more than just survival. That isn't fantasy. That's your truth calling. It's not asking you to hustle harder. It's asking you to trust deeper, to trust yourself, to trust your timing, to trust that even though the road ahead might be uncertain, you're guided. Always, even when it feels like you're alone, even when things don't make sense. Life has a strange way of breaking us open just enough to let the light in. And sometimes we resist that. We want the transformation without the discomfort. But discomfort is often the doorway, the resistance you feel. That's just old programming trying to keep you safe. But safe doesn't mean fulfilled, and comfort doesn't mean growth. At some point, you have to choose to let go of the story you've been telling yourself about why you can't, why it's not the right time, why you're not ready. That story is outdated. It's time for a new one. It's time to stop replaying the memories that hurt and start imagining the moments that heal. It's time to stop waiting for miracles and realize that you are one. That your presence here, listening to these words, means you're waking up to something greater, something that's been waiting for you all along. And when you say yes to that, when you open yourself to receiving, the universe responds in ways that defy logic. Don't be surprised if after today things begin to shift. Don't be surprised if you start noticing signs, opportunities, and synchronicities. They were always there. You just weren't tuned in. But now you are. And when you operate from a place of awareness, life stops feeling like something that's happening to you and starts feeling like something that's happening through you. You become the creator, not just of dreams, but of reality. And that's where your power lies. You don't need to control every outcome. You just need to master your focus, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. If you focus on lack, you create more of it. If you focus on gratitude, you expand abundance. If you focus on fear, it grows. But if you focus on possibility, doors open. Maybe not all at once, maybe not in the way you expect, but they open, always. And when you start believing in possibility, your energy changes. You walk differently. You speak differently. People notice, even if they can't explain it. They feel your shift. And you begin attracting what matches that frequency. That's not magic. That's alignment. That's the reward for trusting yourself when it would have been easier to doubt. You might feel like you've wasted time in the past, made mistakes, or missed your chance. But here's what you need to remember. Nothing is wasted. Every experience, every failure, every delay, it was preparing you. It was teaching you. It was building your resilience. The person you're becoming needed those lessons. And now you're ready to use them, not to survive, but to rise. So if you've ever felt behind, know this: you're not late. You're right on time. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And this moment, it's the beginning of your next chapter. Not because you figured it all out, but because you're willing to move forward anyway. This is your reminder that you were never meant to live a small, fearful life. You were meant to thrive, to shine, to expand. Not someday, not when things are perfect, but now. Because the only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the belief that it's possible. So believe it, not because it's easy, but because it's true. Feel it, let it sink in. Let these words reach the part of you that's been waiting for a sign. This is it. This is your moment. And if you're still watching, you already know it. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Picture the version of yourself who already has the life you dream about. Feel their energy, their confidence, their peace. Now realize there's no distance between you and that version. Just a decision. Just a choice to act as if it's already true. Because when you do that, you start collapsing time. You start moving differently. You start attracting what matches your vision. This isn't about pretending. It's about aligning. It's about deciding that you're worthy now, not later. And when you decide that, everything changes. Because worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something you claim. So claim it, right here, right now. Your future self is watching you, cheering for you, waiting for you. They already know what's possible. They already see the version of you that's free, fulfilled, abundant, and unstoppable. All you have to do is catch up. And it all starts today. If this message moved something inside you, if it reminded you of who you are and what you're capable of, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. Let it guide you. Let it push you to take that next step, even if it's small, especially if it's scary. That's how transformation begins. And if you ever doubt yourself again, come back to this. Let it remind you that you are powerful. You are worthy. You are guided. And most importantly, you are not alone. You were meant to see this now.